Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle and today I'm talking about my 3 favorite investing accounts that I have and that I think everyone else should have too. Alright, so my number 1 favorite investing account would have to be the Roth IRA, and that's because of the tax advantage of having this account. So this account, you only have to have an income annually, of course, and you can contribute up to $6,000 to this account annually if you are under the age of 50. Otherwise, you can contribute $7,500 to the account if you are over the age of 50. And the tax advantage is the main reason why I think this is the best account to have and why everyone should consider investing in this account. The money that you put into this account, you've already been taxed on, so you're using after-tax dollars to fund this account. So once you're ready to withdraw your funds, all of that money is yours tax-free. You're not going to pay a secondary tax on it. So if you've been investing for years and that account eventually grows to $1 million, that entire $1 million within that account is yours without having to pay an additional tax, which is what makes this account so powerful and which is why everyone should really consider investing in this account and maxing it to that limit of $6,000 or $7,500 if you're over the age of 50. There are some limits on who can invest in this account, and that's due to your income. So some people don't qualify for this account if they're making over $140,000 annually as a single person or $208,000 as a couple at the time of this recording. For me, I'm making well under that, so I'm able to invest in this account. But if you are someone who's making more than 140 or as a couple making more than 208, then you would have to invest in a traditional IRA. But there's plenty of videos on YouTube that talk about how you can still invest in the Roth IRA through a backdoor method. I'm not going to go through that in this video. I think other people have done a great job talking about that method, and since I currently am not in that situation, hopefully I will be later on in my career, but since I'm not in that situation, I'm not going to discuss that any further. So that's why I think everyone should consider this account. That's why it's my number 1 favorite investing account. I have already maxed the account out for 2021 and I plan to do so in the upcoming years as well. Alright, so my second favorite account would have to be the health savings account. Now I must mention that not everyone will be able to open this account. There are some variables, the first being that you have to have a high deductible health plan. If you don't have a high deductible health plan, then unfortunately you're not eligible for the health savings account. Alternatively, if you are still under 26 and you want to stay on your parents', then I would just recommend staying there so you don't have to pay the monthly fee of having a health insurance, unless it's completely free for you. I know for my sister, her insurance, she doesn't spend a dime on at her job, which is nice, but for me, I'm spending over $100 a month on my high deductible health plan, even though I really have no intent of using the health insurance. I know it's just there, as a need be. So that's why I decided to go with the high deductible plan, even though, of course, there are higher deductibles, which is why they allow you to have this health savings account. So the reason why the health savings account I think is super beneficial is because of the triple tax advantage that I mentioned. The first advantage is you are putting in pre-tax dollars into this account, which means it lowers your annual taxable income, which is great. The second advantage is you can invest the funds within this account. It doesn't only have to be a savings account, it can be an investing account. And so that's really where that strength grows, because the money that you put in is pre-tax. It also gets to grow in whatever investments you choose. And when you're ready to pull the money out later, it is also tax-free. So whether or not you invest the money or you just leave it as a savings account, if you do have medical expenses, you can pay for them and have them reimburse you with pre-tax money to cover those expenses. But it's better if you treat this truly as a long-term investment, because you can put the $3,600 annually as a single person and $7,200 I believe as a family, have that money grow over a long period of time, and then when you're older and most likely will have more medical expenses, that's when you can start to use it. Also, when you are above the age of 65, you don't have to just use the funds in there for medical events. You can use it for anything. So there's just a lot of power of having it. So I kind of consider this my secondary Roth, where instead of just $6,000 that I'm putting in a year, it's really $9,600 that I can have invested tax-free. So that's why this is my second favorite account and why I think a lot of people should consider having it. I talked to people at my nursing job and most of them didn't know that you could even invest in the account. I only found out that you could invest because I watched videos from Our Rich Journey, and they're the ones who inspired me to put money into this account. Originally, I was just going to add $500 to the account because my job also will match $500, but then once I saw the power of the account and that you can actually invest, I decided I would max the account to the full $3,600, and I intend to do so every year that I can. So that's why this is such a great account. All right, now for my third favorite account, that would have to be the 401k, 403b in my case account. The reason for this, because of the employer match. Why is this not number one or number two? I'm not a huge fan of the account because of what my employer picked as my investing options. They're not the best. It's not what I would pick. Honestly, it's just, I don't like it. But I get a match, and so I want to have that match from my employer. So originally I was only investing up to my employer match, but I have increased that amount, so I invest double what I was investing, and of course I'm not getting any more from my employer, but I did decide to increase it. And so with these accounts, you can either go the traditional 401k or 403b route or the Roth. So with the traditional, that is going to be pre-tax money that's going into the account, and your employer will also put money that would also be in that pre-tax form, meaning you would have to pay taxes on the employer one later on when you do withdrawal. Or you can do the Roth, which means you're putting in after-tax dollars into the account, which doesn't give you a tax advantage on your taxable income because it is going to be taxed before you put it in. That has some advantages later down the line. Really, it just depends on your situation and what you anticipate you'll be making later on. So some people like to just do pre-tax now because they think that they'll be making significantly less, and so they'll be in a lower tax bracket later on, and so they would rather be taxed once they hit a lower bracket. Other people may be at the height of their career, so they're putting in or other people may be making less now and they're going to be in a higher income bracket later on. So they've decided that they'll just take the taxes out now, so that way they don't have to pay more taxes later. For me, I'm actually doing a combination of both. I have some that are going in pre-tax and some that are going in post-tax. So a mixture of both. I do intend to be in a higher tax bracket later on if things go as well as I want them to, but just to put my eggs in two different baskets in terms of this account, I've invested in both. I think it's a great way to just get your free money. There's really no reason not to invest in it. I think if I were to order them in terms of what's the most beneficial, I probably would say that this one is the most beneficial just because you do have that employer match. Then the health savings account, because you probably could have an employer match. It just kind of depends. Not every employer is going to give you funds there, but mine is. And then the third would probably be the Roth. But what I would do is I would only take the match with the 401k, 403b. Then I would max out the Roth and the HSA, and if there's extra funds, then I'd go back and max out the 403b account. But I wouldn't choose to max that one out first, just because I do think there's better investment options in the Roth IRA and also in the HSA. So that's all for this video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Please leave a comment below, like this video, give it a thumbs up, let me know what other videos you are interested in. I am a nurse, so I can do some videos on that and what I think as the nursing salary versus travel salary. Just give me some tips and I will do those videos for you. Feel free to subscribe to see more content from me, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.